Okay, so Graham, here's a start on how to start approaching drawing kind of in reverse here. So I've got my outlines here of this area of this photograph that we took of Lauren Sewell. I got a blending stump, which I might use, but I might not. And I also have a black charcoal pencil. So basically, what I'm looking for here and what I've started to outline is not just the shape of the eye, but also the shapes of the shadows that are around it. So this is a relatively sharp point, but not super sharp. But now I'm going to start looking here, and what I want to do is gradually start building up some of the white of the eye. And then on this side, I'm going to slowly start building up the white of the eye on the other side. So I'm leaving the dark, which is this part of the eye here. I also see just like a little bit of light here, right next to the eye that I could barely touch and pull that down in there. And then it's dark above the eye, so I outline that. But what I'm going to do is outside of that dark area, I'm going to start to build in some light. I'm going to skip a section. I'm going to start to build in some more light, and then once I've got those two lines going, then I can start to kind of like carry out. And I can do marks that kind of go in all directions. That's called scumbling. Or I can do marks that only go in one direction. And then depending on where I'm at, I might lean on the pencil to start to build up some brighter tones in some areas. Also down here, it gets pretty bright. So I don't want to build it up too bright too fast, but I'm looking for all those light areas. Now let's say that I start to get to a point where I feel like, okay, this is all going to be light down in here, but I missed something. Like, oh no, I filled this in and I'm starting to get this sense of it being lighter and starting to be round. So I want more pressure in some areas so that it's brighter and less pressure in other areas. But I missed this little line that's right in here. I can come back with a dark charcoal pencil and use it almost like an eraser to add in some dark marks where I want things to be dark. So I can work kind of back and forth between the two until I start to feel like, okay, I'm starting to get this to feel like there's light where I see light and there's some shadow where I see shadow. And I'm getting a range between bright, 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 white, less pressure, less white, and very little pressure in some areas so that it's dark, 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 or no pressure, no white whatsoever. And boom, like magic, it starts to look like an eyeball. So remember, you can go back and forth between your black and your white. You can blend areas with the black if you feel like you want to soften, transition, or depending on how accurately your first step is for coloring, you may decide that like it's good enough without using any of the black at all. And then accentuate things, like even though this all looks kind of light, and I think the light is washing out some of the lights and darks that I see here, over here you can see I've done more in some areas and less in some areas to try to heighten the roundness of surfaces. Any place that I can make it more round than the photograph, then I'm going to do that. Okay, I hope that helps you get started, and it's good for me because now I can show this in years in the future.